Welcome to the online session of Power Plant Engineering. My name is Vishal Acharya. Today we will discuss about fluidized bed combustion and superheat control and corrosion in boiler and its prevention. First, fluidized bed combustion. Here the construction. Here feed water is entered by the evaporator tubes and outlet here. Here, the fuel for the combustion is the mixture of the coal and dolomite. Here, the for the bed, here distributor plate here, and the distributor plate provide the hole for the supplying the air, and after the combustion, air is removed by the here. This is the basic construction of the fluidized bed combustion, and the flue gas is out here. In a fluidized bed combustion, burning of the pulverized coal has some problems, such as the particle size of coal used in a pulverized firing is limited to 70 to 100 micron. The pulverized fuel fire furnace designed to burn a particular cannot be used other type of coal with the same efficiency. The generation of the high temperature about the 165 degrees Celsius in the furnace create a number of problems like self formation, superheater, evaporation of alkali metal in ash, and deposition of the heat exchanger surfaces, formation of the SO2 and NOx in a large amount. So here fluidized bed combustion system can burn any fuel including the low grade coal even is containing the 70% oil or as oil, gas, municipal waste. So here all the waste also used as a fuel. Here improved desulfurization and the low NOx emission are is the main characteristic. So here the main parameter is the environment pollution control. The fuel and the inert material of dolomite are fed on a distribution plate here, and air is supplied from the bottom of the distributing plate. The air is supplied at high velocity so that the solid feed material remains in the suspension condition during the burning. Here the heat produced is used to the heat water flowing through the tube and they convert water into the steam during the burning of SO2 form is absorbed by the dolomite and thus is prevent the is except with the exhaust gas is the molten slag is tapped from the top surface of the bed. The bed temperature is nearly 800 to 900 degrees Celsius, which is the ideal for the sulfur retention addition of the limestone or dolomite. To the bed bring down SO2 emission level to about the 15% of the conventional firing method. The major portion of the coal available in the India is very low quality. So highest content and low calorific value. The traditional grade fuel firing system have a not a limitation or got very light illumination and are technology of economically unavailable to the meet the challenges of the future. The fluidized bed combustion has emerged as a visible alternative and has significant advantages over the conventional firing system and is offered the multiple benefits: compact boiler design, fuel flexibility, higher combustion efficiency, and reduces the emission of the NOx and like pollutants SOx and NOx. This is the main advantage use of the FBC. Advantages of fluidized bed combustion. Here, use of any type of low grade fuel, including the municipal waste. It is the cheaper method for the power generation. In India, low grade coal available more. So here, this is the benefit of cell for the Indian coal. The combustion temperature is controlled accurately. So here, combustion efficiency is achieved by maximum. No formation of the nitrogen oxide and the use of the inert for the removing the sludging and over the heating and size of the coal does not affect on the operation and performance, so you not require the pulverized coal. So the preparation cost is negligible or minimum. FBC system can be response efficiently. So here variation of load is easily and flexible system. Due to the better heat transfer, higher thermal efficiency, the unit size, his capital cost here also reduced. Some disadvantage for the fluidized bed combustion here. There are many problems in the distribution of coal and dolomite. Here's the main problem of the mixture of the coal. The direct contact between the hot fuel and the evaporator tube causes the erosion of the tubes, and high pressure is required to the fluidize of the bed. So here we use the compressor for the high pressure air. So the cost of the fluidized bed combustion is high. Here type of the fluidized bed combustion. First is the classical FBC system. The main principle of the fluidized bed combustion is the same. Here the overfeed and underfeed stoker available for the classical FBC system. Here overfeed stoker, coal and dolomite mixture is enter here, and the bed of the fuel and the immerse tube in the FBC or the fluidized bed depend upon the size of the fluidized bed. Here hot primary air supply here and the gas outlet here. For the better combustion efficiency, we supply the secondary air for the better combustion. Here hot gas is transferred to the evaporator tube, superheated tube and the economizer. Then is passed to the cyclone separator. In a cyclone separator, unburned carbon particles and dust again transferred to the fluidized bed. So here combustion efficiency of the fluidized bed combustion is the very high, and then fuel gas is and transferred to the air preheater. So for the compressed air here supply to the air preheater and then transfer to the atmosphere. Here second is commercial circulation FBC. Here all the principle is the same, only here difference is the air flow. Here the sloping distribution, so here low velocity, medium velocity and high velocity. So here turbulence is created and more combustion efficiency, and here supply to the liquid fuel and collect gas from the here. This is same for the classical FPC boiler, only difference in the slope and the velocity of the entering of the air. Next, in the pressurized FBC boiler, in the pressurized FBC boiler, we transfer the compressed air here from the gas turbine and then transfer to the fluidized bed and combustion here. Here, ash particle collect from the here and the fuel, coal and dolomite here transfer. This is the underfeed stoker. Here, immerse tube bundle for the boiler tube for the converted into the water into the steam. Here fire tube, and then transfer to the hot gases in cyclone collector, or in the cyclone collector the unburned gas particle transfer to the fluidized bed for use the centrifugal collectors, and then transfer to the dust collector. In a dust collector all the dust particles remove with the ash here and transfer to the hot gases in a gas turbine, so that here we produce the mechanical power also from the gas turbine, and for the compressor required power supply by the gas turbine. This is the basic construction and working principle of the pressurized fluid bed combustion system. Next is the steam temperature or superheat control. First is the combined radiant and convective superheater. D is superheating, recondensing of the steam, bypass furnace gas around the superheater, gas recirculation, tilting burner in the furnace and auxiliary burner. First, the combined radiant and convective superheater. When the load is decreased or increased from the boiler, here radiant superheater heat transfer decrease, but in a convective superheater in transfer increase. So the parallel or series connection is a help for the heat control. Next is the D superheating. Here the when the superheater pass through the this superheater system, here water spray for the cold water, then the superheated temperature is controlled and then transferred to the turbine. This is help for the feed water also. Third is the pre-condensing of the steam. When the body is transferred to the superheated steam, here some condenser part control to transfer the feed water and then transfer to the again boiler drum. So here the automatic control system is provided for the condensing system. Here this is a very small condensing system provided here, and then steam transfer to the superheater. Here bypass control and recirculation. First figure is the bypass control. When the our load is decreased or increased, the bypass damper is help for the transfer of the fuel. When the our load is increased, we transfer the more, we will transfer the fuel gases in the convective superheater. But when the our load is decreased, to not transfer the fuel gases in the convective superheater. So here this control the all the temperature of the superheat steam. Second is the recirculating gas. In the recirculating gas, here some part of the gas again the recircular in a economizer. So this system is provided for the heat control in or heat increase in the super economizer. This method for is called the recirculation of the gas. Next is the tilting burner. In the tilting burner, the more heat transfer in a economizer and then small heat transfer in a evaporator or superheater. So here this arrangement is called the tilting burner. Here main burner and auxiliary burner is to control to the superheated steam. Corrosion in boiler and its prevention: corrosion at inner surface, corrosion at external surface. What is boiler corrosion? Boiler corrosion is a slow poison for the industrial boiler. Talk to expert and save your boiler life, like the thermodyne term. Here, the main problem with corrosion is a phenomena in which the atmospheric oxygen in air or water react with the metal to form the oxides. Corrosion in an industrial boiler is a phenomena in the which oxygen that is dissolved in the water inside the boiler react with the metal of steam boiler. The ferrous component of the metal react with the atmospheric oxygen in the water to the undergoes oxidation. The oxidation result in the formation of the ferrous oxide. Ferrous oxide lead to the formation of the cavity and holes in the metal in shown figure. This the gradual formation of the cavities and holes in the metal is termed as a pitting. Pitting is the main host of the corrosion which ultimately destruct the metal and their property. Main causes of the boiler corrosion is the improper and unscheduled maintenance, exposure of the boiler metal to dissolve the gases present in the boiler water. Here, oxygen present in a boiler water, carbon dioxide present in a boiler water, and some unbalanced pH of the boiler water. Improper and unscheduled maintenance, main reason. Exposure of the metal to dissolved gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide present in the boiler feed water. Unbalanced pH of the water inside the steam boiler. And improper schedule of maintenance is the main reason of the causes of the boiler corrosion. And how to prevention for the corrosion? First, adding the corrosive gas. Second, remove of the dissolved oxygen. High pH value of boiler water use and mechanical deaeration of boiler water is main requirement. Means the dissolved oxygen is removed. Higher feed water temperature reduces in oxygen content. Six, the chemical deoxygen by use of the oxygen scavenges like sodium sulfide. And hot condensations return it contains the less O2 than the feed water and also saves the fuel. Thank you.